Hey, y'all. As a growing family, my husband and I love game night, especially when it's Wayfair edition.
Let's do it. You gotta name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Welcome to Witchcast!
'Cause it's Witchcast.
I'm Emily.
I'm Kate.
And we're your co-hosts of this, the Witchcast podcast.
That's right. We're your learning, growing, ever-evolving novice witches here to explore everything under the woo-woo, esoteric, spiritual umbrella.
And it is a stunning umbrella with lots of incredible things under it. And nothing is perhaps more incredible than the thing we have today.
Oh my gosh, we have such an exciting guest for you all this week. And
really guests, in a way.
Multiple guests. She is a zoologist and a wildlife educator and an animal wrangler for TV and film, as well as the founder of Zoophoria, New Jersey. Please welcome Samantha Slevens.
Yay, Samantha!
Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, welcome.
For having me.
Thanks for being here.
So pumped to have you here.
Yeah.
We also have in the studio with us, we'll get to her, but we need to just
acknowledge who else is in the room.
Acknowledge
right now.
the cane toad in the room. We have the illustrious magical Cheeseburger with us, right?
She is here and she's ready to party. Yes,
oh
she's
my
the cane toad.
She's the cutest thing I maybe have ever seen.
I think that's why I have so much high energy right now, because I'm just feeding off of her magic. She's beautiful.
Stunning vibes. Now, this being an audio medium, I should tell you that she is currently wearing a tall blue pointy hat and sitting next to a crystal, and that we will have a photo of Cheeseburger on our Instagram, and obviously we'll have clips of her her participation in this conversation.
Yeah, I can't get over her. She's beautiful. But tell us first about yourself, Samantha. Tell us all about Zoophoria. What is it? What do you do? And how did you get started?
Well, it's been a journey. I will say that. I started by being completely obsessed with animals pretty much the second I came out of the womb. Don't know what it is, why it was like that. Just something very deep, very innate that came out when I was a kid. I had no real understanding of it when I was younger. I just knew anytime I saw something scaly, creepy, crawly, I was obsessed and I wanted to get closer and learn as much as possible about it. So I pretty much took that route. Thankfully, my parents were extraordinarily supportive all growing up. I have 2 step-siblings, but I was in the home by myself for the most part. So I was kind of like an only child, and they did assume that I did need friends. So they implied that with many, many creatures. So my first animal was Bearded Dragon. I fell in love with her. Her name was Doris.
I love Bearded Dragons.
But then ever since, I just continued to learn more and tried to get more pets and learn as much as I could. And I was itching to work in the field as soon as possible. So there is a local pet store in our area. It's an exotic pet store in Chester, New Jersey, and I was obsessed with it. I was in there every single weekend, staring at everything, driving the employees absolutely insane, until I was finally able to harass them into giving me a job. I did have to wait until I was like 14 or 15, I forget.
But you were in high school still. You were still a teen?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I think I started harassing him when I was like 12. So
wow.
he finally gave in at some point and let me work there, which I was obsessed with. I learned a lot more there. But it was just definitely like a starter job as far as where I wanted to go. And I eventually found out there was a wildlife education company that opened near my house. And I didn't really understand what animal programs were. I'd seen them at schools, but like I never really imagined that for myself. Unfortunately, that is the case with a lot of people who love animals. They don't always understand or not really aware of what the options are as far as what jobs can be. And or you're also told you'll be broke your whole life and never make any money. You have to work for free forever first. And all of these things that just simply were not true.
Yeah.
But I do also offer programs now where I teach kids and teens about what options are available if you are interested in animals. But back to where I started working at that company for a while. I worked there for about 8 years and I loved it. I started thriving in the position and it was so much fun. But as I graduated college with my zoology degree, I figured I should probably use it. My parents were going to kill me. So I ended up starting my own company doing this, but with more of an art focus rather than just large scale growth. A lot of the companies that are in this area, I mean, being so close to the city and whatnot, tend to focus on trying to do as many programs as possible, build a huge team, and do this whole thing. But that was never really my interest. I still am really trying to keep it as small scale as possible. And the animals that I use for these programs are my pets. So I really like to be in control of what they're experiencing, what they're doing, where they're going, who's interacting with them, and how. And so I'm planning on keeping this a pretty small scale business with just myself and maybe one or two friends here and there to cover me. But generally speaking, I just try to get out to as many programs as possible and show them off really well. And people love them. And they're so friendly because they are my pets and they've been loved forever.
Yeah,
I
they're
love
babies.
Yeah,
Aw.
we do animal art programs, which are super fun. Again, merging the worlds of art and science. We also do, like I mentioned, animal wrangling, where we bring them into productions. And if there's any specific productions looking for a snake, iguana, lizard, things like that, it's our job to bring them there, put them in a safe and comfortable position to allow the director to get the shot that they want, to work also with American Humane, which allows us to make sure everybody's safe and sound throughout the whole process, too.
Nice.
Got to keep them safe and sound for sure.
That's awesome.
What are all of the animals that you have? Talk us through your menagerie.
Menagerie.
I have about 40.
Wow.
But again, some of them I've had for over 15 years. So they, again, don't really feel like pets, more as family, I will say. But we've got a mixture. We've got iguanas. We've got a tegu named Glizzy. We've got some Russian tortoises, Euromastix lizards, red-tailed boa constrictors, crested geckos, tarantulas, scorpions, giant toads, as you can see with my friend Cheeseburger. Oh, she's going to show off her little butt cheeks for you a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Work it.
Snakes, like corn snakes, blue-tongued skinks. I'm just looking around the room right now to see what I can see. Red-footed tortoises, leopard geckos, baby alligator, also ball pythons, African bullfrogs, the list goes on and on.
Amazing.
But all creepy, crawly, scaly things.
And you are more drawn to that sector, the amphibians and reptiles and the cold-blooded creatures.
Absolutely. Don't know why again, but it was always just that. So specifically the creepy, crawly, scaly things.
I love it. No dogs or cats in the house?
No, actually not at the moment. We do board dogs occasionally just as a little bit of additional revenue because we don't have any of our own at the moment. But aside from that, we don't have any cats either.
Nothing fluffy.
I would imagine it's a lot of work to try and like keep them all separate and cohabitate with everyone.
It is. I also had a baby last year, so that added a lot of extra work.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Hardest animal I've ever taken care of.
Exactly. You have a human baby now too.
Yes.
So I mean, I think obviously a lot of these animals are known to be witchy throughout culture. I mean, cane toads to me are so witchy. Like what how I met you at the Lunar Fair that I talk about a lot here on the podcast. So and we have a surprise later for our listeners that I know Cheeseburger, your cane toad, is witchy herself, but are you witchy? And then how do you identify witchy wise? Like, and how does that interact with your work with animals?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if I'd say full blown I'm a witch, but I definitely believe in powerful manifestation. And I do like to joke and say that these creatures are all my familiars, right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of witchy word for the animal guidance there. I think that there's a lot to be said about experiencing God in nature, right? And I think that I feel closest to the higher power when I'm with them, when I'm in nature looking for them, when I'm connecting with them. I just feel true peace, which I think is all any spirituality is really driving for, right? I mean, that's all we really want is peace. But when I spend time with them, I feel very peaceful, very relaxed. I feel very connected to something that's not artificial in any way, right? I think that can be hard nowadays with all of the technology and all of the expectations for how things are supposed to operate and what we see on social media and how we can try to strive to be like that and whatnot. But what I like about animals is everything is truly very simple. It's food, it's water, it's comfort, it's joy, and it's fun. And I think that that's all we can really ask for in this life.
I love that. Yeah, animals are the best.
They really are.
So Cheeseburger is a tarot reader herself.
Yes.
And we are going to have Cheeseburger read us some tarot at the end of the episode. But so how did you find this special skill of hers? Like, how did that come to be?
And do you yourself read tarot?
I have always been very interested in tarot, very, very much so. I am still learning, but I think there's a bit of imposter syndrome there. I feel like sometimes when you're receiving a reading, it feels more powerful than doing something yourself. But nonetheless, I found that Cheeseburger will pretty much eat at all times. So if I lay enough worms out on top of the cards, she picks her favorite worm and therefore is divinely predicting the future.
I love it. I
I'm
love
so
it.
excited to see it happen.
And do you offer readings through her, like to people? Like, how does she like to perform this talent for others?
Yeah, so we mostly just do the lunar fairs at the moment. It's a very fun in-person activity to do with the toad. However, I would absolutely offer this remotely. We could do videos or whatnot if somebody were interested in booking something like that. I did do what I did at the lunar fair. There were times where she got full, as we discussed. It's super duper busy, and so she got full. She can only eat a certain finite amount of worms, and so I started having people write down their contact information and then sending videos of her doing it, which I found to be really successful. So I'd be happy to offer that here as well.
I love it.
Oh yes,
she does cameos.
Yes, amazing. Okay, so everyone will post obviously Samantha's contact info. So if you want a personal reading from Cheeseburger, you know where to go. That's amazing. That's so cool. So I want to know a bit more about a few of your, like, who are some of your kind of OG familiars? What are their stories? I know you have a beautiful tortoise who's also in the room with us named Tripod.
Yes.
Tell us about them.
Tripod, unfortunately, had a pretty rough go. He was living in Lodi, New Jersey with a very lovely family. They just didn't quite understand what they were in for. They bought him for their young daughter, and he was the size of a ping pong ball when they got him. And unfortunately, they put him in a tank with a bearded dragon, which is a type of lizard. They were trying to save space, and unfortunately, the dragon thought that he looked a little bit more like a snack and bit his foot off. This happened when he was so young. I'm really hoping he doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
However, he has lasting struggles with it. He's missing essentially from his forearm down, like so his hand and then like half of his forearm is essentially missing. But he does get around okay, and he has done very well. I've had him for about 16 years now, and he's been really, really, really great. He goes outside in the spring and summer, and he comes inside in the fall and winter. But I did notice as he is getting larger that his shoulder girdle, like his bones and whatnot, are starting to look a little bit off balance. So I decided to bring him in to see if there was any option of getting a prosthetic to try to start to balance him back out. And it has been so successful. I had to bring him all the way to Florida, which was quite a journey, to find an MRI machine that was big enough to scan him. That was challenge number one. Challenge number two was finding somewhere to do it. And we're lucky enough to have a company called NJ3D Pets in Bloomingdale, New Jersey.
Oh.
And they specialize in all kinds of prosthetics, mostly for dogs and cats, but they're like known all throughout the country for doing this. And it just happens to be like 40 minutes away from us. So I brought them down there. They scanned them with this really cool technology on their phone where they did like some kind of 3D orientation of what exactly he would need. And they were able to print him a new foot. Very exciting.
Amazing.
Oh, that's so great. I remember seeing content, I think, on your social when you posted about this. We'll have to like share it as well so people can see. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's doing so well with it. It is going to take some time for his bones and everything to kind of readjust to being at that height. So it's a long-term process here, but it's really nice to see him using it. It's funny. He looks at it a little confused.
That's so
but he
sweet.
gets around great, and he's doing well with practice. So it's been fun.
That's great. Yes. How do you get your animals? I know New Jersey has a giant reptile expo,
Yes.
but like, are all of your animals rescues? How do you normally find your menagerie?
98% are rescues. I would say it's really not something that we really need to go out and get something like a bearded dragon or a leopard gecko. Usually the more common pet animals that we have in our group here, we usually put posts out looking for them if we need them right when kids go away to college. So August. And every single time we get a handful of parents looking to rehome pets. So most of them are taken in that way. A lot of people do reach out to me as well. They'll do a Google search and my company pops up. And so they reach out that way. If it's a species that we particularly don't use or may not do well with wildlife education based on their species, or if it's something too large or not good temperament, we will help connect people to find somebody that will take them in, but we can't take in everybody, of course. For other animals, animals that are pretty specific. Like, for example, Cheeseburger. She's kind of a rescue in the sense that she was invasive in Florida, and they were in a program where instead of culling them, which is biological killing, right, for biological purpose, they actually will catch them, collect them, and then send them out to be homed pets, which is how we got Cheeseburger. So she was roaming around Florida, and she shouldn't be. I do occasionally visit the reptile expos. I have to be careful in there because I can end up spending my life savings away very easily.
I imagine.
Next thing you know, you have a Komodo dragon.
I will go in with specific purpose, right? Like if I'm looking for a very specific species. So, for example, just recently, this past week, there was the NJ Reptile Expo, which is a relatively new one. I think it's only its second year of operation, but I decided to check it out and I ended up picking up a beautiful monkey-tailed skink, and she's gorgeous. I love her so much. She's still in quarantine and settling into her new environment, so we're not handling her yet, but she is extremely sweet, and we're going to be making rounds with her hopefully this summer after her vet check and all of that.
Nice. What's her name?
Exciting.
I haven't come up with a name yet. I'm actually still circulating.
still
So if anybody would like to comment any name suggestions, I would love to hear them.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they
Very
should reach
green.
out.
She has like emerald green swamp colored eyes, which are gorgeous. A long prehensile tail. She wraps around tree branches. And we typically like to go with food names, specifically meat. Okay. Which
I love a good food name for a pet. Absolutely. I love that. Tell us a bit. I just want to talk about animals like a little bit longer before we talk about your programs. Tell us about a couple other. I know they're all your favorites, but
another one of my favorites is our Argentinian black and white tegu. Her name is Glizzy, kind of like a hot dog. She was really, really small when I first got her, and she was having a lot of trouble thriving. So I got super duper connected with her because it was very one-on-one special attention she needed for a long time, but she is doing great. She's about 6 feet long now, including her tail, maybe a little less, like 5 feet, but she's a big girl. Actually over here, I could show her if you want to.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't actually know what a
cage
tiger
right next
looks
to me,
like.
so
Yeah. Makes it easy.
She's staring at me right now, so.
I know. I feel like they can tell you're talking about them.
There she
Wow.
is. So this
pretty
is
lady.
Lizzie. She's an Argentinian black and white tegu. She's so sweet. They're
So
kind of
what-
like water lizards, but not quite.
Yeah.
And they do stick their tongues out to smell. So she's checking out Cheeseburger right now.
Oh, no.
I'm
That would be a
obsessed. I'm
So
obsessed.
Cool.
Yeah.
And again, for our listeners, this is like, I would say a very large lizard who kind of like looks sort of like an iguana if you didn't like, but different with stripes and
I'll
a
post
nice
pictures.
long
I'm gonna
forked
post.
tail. Yeah. And you can go to our Instagram at Witchcast Podcast to see photos.
Wow.
And also, what's Zoophoria's Instagram, or what's your Instagram?
Oh, it's
Samantha?
just Zoophoria NJ. ZOOPHORIA NJ.
So if you want to see the
Amazing.
full menagerie, you can absolutely check out Zoophoria NJ on Instagram too.
I'm obsessed.
But as
She's
far as
so-
familiars go, I'd say Elizabeth here. That's my nickname for her.
Elizabeth! No!
She
I
is
love it.
absolutely with me all the time. We roam around together. I take her for walks. She wears a leash. We go for a walk in a trail across the street from our house.
I love
She is
that.
extremely sweet, and
the
I
neighbors must love her.
thankfully, I've lived in this house my entire life. I actually bought it from my parents. So the neighbors that I have on either side have been here for like 40 years. So they know.
They get
They're
it.
like, oh, yeah,
They
I've been
know.
playing with her since she was a kid. So, and again, it's been the same story, just rinse and repeat.
They've seen it all coming.
She's
I
beautiful.
love, she's also got like kind of chubby cheeks in a nice way, like very cute.
Yeah, she does. They have something called jowls. And that's
Yeah.
actually their mastication muscles. They're just so incredibly strong. They get these
just
big
like
pouches
me.
on their cheeks.
What does Glizzy eat?
She eats anything that
Anything.
moves. But she also eats fruits and vegetables. But she loves cockroaches, worms. She'll eat rats, fish, chicken legs, any kind of anything she will eat.
It must be a lot to feed all these animals.
It is. It is. I will say that's our largest expense, as well as electricity. The electricity
with the
is
heat lamps.
massively expensive. My
Yeah.
electric bill is essentially a mortgage payment at this point.
Oh,
but
and
it's
let me
so
tell you,
necessary.
PSE&G,
Yeah.
not cheap.
GCP&L, but yeah, it's definitely
Oh,
not
okay.
fun. But yeah, so that's one of the biggest overheads, as well as the food itself. We typically have do twice a year orders, and we don't actually feed them any live mammals. So any mammals that we're feeding, so whether that be like rats or anything, mice, we always do frozen thawed. And it's actually safer for the animals. And also, I don't have to watch anything die, which is horrible. You know,
That's
I
nice.
don't like that. I love the rats just as much. I always grew up with pet rats and things like that too. They're so incredibly smart and I love them. They are fantastic pets. So I don't necessarily want to watch that process. So we take them out of the freezer just like we defrost chicken for dinner, and they safe. Yep.
Nice.
And it saves us all trouble, and it's actually safer because if you were a rat being attacked by an animal, you'd probably fight back, right? And,
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And you
the
can't
animals can
have
get
these
injured.
sweethearts getting rat bites.
Exactly. You have to worry about disease probably either, you know, like they're
Yeah,
coming from
yeah, a
food
little less
sources.
with that because their body temperature is so low. A lot of the diseases that live in mammals will not survive in reptiles.
Oh, nice.
Same reason why possums can't carry rabies is because they have a very low body temperature. But nonetheless, it is something we worry about, especially with snakes, because if a rat bites them properly, they're extremely prone to punctured lungs because their body is so much long.
Right.
Wow. Oh my gosh, I love these animal facts. Well, so speaking of, you're an educator as well. You're a wildlife educator, and you offer lots of programs for both children and adults. Tell us about some of the programs that you offer. What do you teach? How do those work?
Yeah, so what we do is we pack up a couple favorites, usually 5 to 7 animals. We pack up the favorites, put them in our big presentation box, which is actually what Cheeseburger's sitting on top of right now. And we roll in and we do usually 1 hour programs where we say around 75 kids or adults attendance in general. And we present the animals in an educational but also kind of fun way. And then we give everybody the opportunity to gently touch them on their backs. Now, this is fine with all of the creatures that we have except for the alligator. In New Jersey, the alligator is very, very restrained. So we cannot have anybody touch them. There are a lot of specific laws. But everybody else is hands-on. And I think it's really a great way of getting people interested because you're immediately providing information. Then you're making it fun. And then you're also providing them with a sensory experience. So it's just like connecting all these different lobes of your brain together and then creating an experience which you walk out of feeling positive instead of negative.
Yeah.
So long term, you're really changing the mindset that people have about these animals. And 9 times out of 10, I'll start a program and I'll have a handful of children and adults that are absolutely not willing to touch anything, which is fine. You know, we don't push anybody to do it. We want people to be interested on their own. There's no sense in forcing, as that just tends to lead to traumatization. So
Yeah.
tell
No one
parents
leaves
that, don't,
happy.
like, grab their kids and try to like force them to touch them. Like
God.
that's really the opposite of what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But by the end of the program, almost always everybody has touched at least one animal, which is the goal. Yeah, we just want to try to create the very positive light for them. So that way, if people do end up seeing them in their environments, they won't hurt them. They'll leave them be. They'll look at them differently. Or also, when people see them in zoos or other places, they can look critically a little bit more. A lot of places don't do things the right way. And it can give people the opportunity to connect with an animal on more of an emotional level to determine if their treatment is appropriate or not. Which again is just another way of unfolding the relationship people have with animals. I think it's just so important. It can teach us so much about the world, about empathy, about fear, about environmental issues. For example, we like to teach people about indicator species. So for environmental problems, Cheeseburger is our ambassador for that. She is an amphibian, and as an amphibian, they're often usually the first creatures that get sick and die when there is an environmental pollution problem. So considering that they're amphibians, sorry, I'm going to geek out a little bit.
No,
really
please.
please,
I love this. Is fascinating.
That's what you're here for.
So as amphibians, they absorb things through their skin. They also absorb liquid through their butts, which might sound a little silly, but they drink from their cloacas, which is the fancy word for their butt. It gets the word cloaca because there's 3 jobs there, not just going number 1 and number 2, but also laying eggs. One-stop shop, one spot, right? So that's
Truly
why
the everything hole. Yeah.
exactly. So they sit in the water, they soak water up through their cloaca and hold it inside their bodies. Now, have you ever heard of people saying that frogs pee when you pick them up?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so it's like a pretty common thing. If you're outside, you pick up a frog, it pees on you. Very, very, very normal. This is actually not urine. It's actually the liquid that they're holding inside their bodies. So they suck water up through their rear ends, hold onto it, and absorb it to drink it. And if something startles them or scares them, they have the ability to release it in the form of pee, right, in air quotes. So that way it can scare animals away. So if an animal is in toxic water, Drinking it can obviously do damage, but toads and frogs specifically absorb it with so much of their body that they are often the first ones to pass away if there's an issue. So they're called an indicator species. They indicate whether or not the environment is healthy.
Wow. Fascinating. And also very sad.
Yes,
I love
unfortunately.
that you work in environmentalism into your, I mean, obviously that's such an obvious tie-in, like
Oh
our
yeah,
our
and we work
world.
also
Yeah.
very closely with the New Jersey Clean Community Organization. So we run a program specifically to outline the differences between trash and litter, and we also talk about how animals can't tell the difference and how it can affect water tables and what we can do on a daily basis to make changes to prevent some of the long-lasting problems that litter occur
That's
causes.
awesome. That's
Yeah, I
incredible.
love
Yeah,
that. I
it's
mean, it
fun.
makes perfect sense that someone who loves animals would love the environment. You
It's
know, like,
absolutely one and the
gotta love
same.
where they live too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's really a massive part of why we do the education. Because if you get somebody connected to the animal itself, you're automatically going to start being interested in where it is, where it's from, and then what kind of issues they're facing in the wild, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, hopefully. Do you have any memorable moments in your past like workshops with kids or adults that kind of stick out to you?
I've had many a time where kids look me dead in the eye and they're like, this is the best day of my life. And it's the cutest thing ever. I love it so much. But also those moments where, especially adults, I will have like, clutching their children in like absolute fear. And then by the end, they're the ones holding snakes over their shoulders and just like becoming so comfortable with it and in such a different way that they would have ever expected. And they come up to me and tell me at the end, like, I never in my life thought I would have ever touched something like that. But you make it so comfortable and calm and so relaxed feeling. And I couldn't help but want to get involved and to know what it feels like. And that's definitely the way I angle my programs is not that I tell kids they're missing out if they don't touch, but they are definitely missing a really cool
Kind of
opportunity to
missing
try
out.
something new.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's-
I honestly think if I got the opportunity to touch roughly 70 or 39 critters, I would feel that was possibly the best day of my life too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Heck yeah. Animal FOMO. What advice do you have for people who are, I have two things I want to hear from you in terms of advice. One is like, what would you tell people who are scared or disgusted by these types of animals? Like you mentioned, there's a very negative stigma, similar to the stigma against witches,
Yes.
right? Like
Yes.
tying it back to witches against
This is a
reptiles,
Witchcast
amphibians.
podcast.
And I'll tell you, unfortunately, it's the same answer. Fear is ignorance, usually. Ignorance is a big, big, big problem. Anytime people are afraid of something, I always just encourage them to learn more. And usually by the end of that, you're not afraid anymore. And
love that.
that's a really, really big thing. And I think also during my programs, there's a little bit of fear in the air. People don't always trust me 100%, which is fine because I gain their trust by the end of the program. But I think there's something about being on that edge where you're a little nervous that makes you just absorb information so much better, and also like have it really resonate and hit in a different way than just reading it in a textbook or watching a video or even reading a plaque at a zoo. It's just very different to be in their space, in their environment, and then to just get close and to see nothing is trying to attack you.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to mind their own business, as long as they're fed and happy, they're fine. And you could hurt them, but they're not going to hurt you back. And again, we would never want to hurt our animals, but it's often thought that these animals are going to chase you down. They want to hurt you. They want to physically attack you. If you attack them, they're going to attack you back. That's just not true. It's just really not. Animals are so much more vulnerable than people give them credit for. They were brought up to be these big, powerful, dangerous things, and in millennia of folklore and stories that have been passed down from generation to generation, and it's just become this these kind of demigods, right? These powerful creatures, and they just don't have the power that people think that they do. I will say a lot of people tend to also be afraid who live in other countries. I think we're very privileged in the United States of America to be able to look at this and to feel like it's something very special to do, something we want to spend our money to do. But in people who live in other countries, these animals appear in their houses without them wanting to. So
Right.
it's
And when they're
definitely-
hungry and showing up in your house, it's a very different story. Yeah.
Exactly. Having a pet animal in an atmosphere is very different than a wild animal. And I try to really send that home too, because I don't want people to go out after my show and go picking things up out in the wild. I'm like, there's a whole different, reality. And these are as close as domesticated, again, air quotes, as you can get with these creatures. But a lot of the time, people will be very, very fearful, especially from, cultures where they're close to rainforests and things. My husband is from Uganda. He moved here, was adopted by a family when he was a teenager, but he grew up in like a very deep part of Uganda where they would find massive gaboon vipers, slithering across their living room floors. I can't blame people for being afraid of them after experiencing stuff like that. I can't, I can't blame. If they come into a situation where you're not expecting them, of course, people are going to be nervous, and that's totally fair. But again, I like to explain that, when I have them in person and they're in my hands, they are not those wild creatures, and they're a lot more comfortable, and we don't need to be afraid. So I find that those tend to be the biggest groups of people that are nervous. People with no exposure, people who've heard stories about them, or people who have had exposure but not in positive ways.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that actually ties into my next question. What is your advice for people who are interested in having pets like these? Like you said, a lot of them end up being rehomed or not properly taken care of, or think they can go out to the wild and just pick something up. What would be your advice to people who are like, well, I want to have my own cane toad, or I want my own snake?
Right. So I would definitely suggest don't ever take anything out of the wild. Even if it's an animal that you're unsure of. I mean, a lot of people release their pets, and it's horrible. But we post all over our website and stuff like, please call us first before you let something go. But it is something that happens. And a lot of time people will see it. Facebook is a fantastic tool for local pages and whatnot. If you see something you're not sure is supposed to be wild or not, snapping a photo, throwing it in a group, seeing what people say. Also, in this era of technology, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but my Android just lets me look at something, circle it on my phone screen, and then Google searches exactly what it is right away. So things like that can help you guide whether or not something should be in the wild. If you're not sure if it should be, local enforcement is always helpful. Or you can give me a call. I'll answer the question for you. You can send me a picture and a text message. I'd happily help out. Also, we find that people will try to get pets, and they buy them as babies because they want to know that they came from a good source. They weren't wild caught. There's a big difference between a wild caught animal and captive bred. We always go for captive bred animals when possible. I don't always know the backgrounds of some of them that come to me through adoptions and whatnot. I'm sure some are wild caught, but it's really not ethical, especially in this day and age. I mean, we have all the resources needed to breed anything, really, if we wanted to. It's going to be a lot more expensive, but you're protecting the environment, and in the long term you're going to get a happier, healthier animal. And overall, again, I just don't really believe it's fair to take something from the wild and lock it in a box. I just don't think that's fair. But an animal that was bred in captivity knows no difference, and you provide a beautiful, positive life for them. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I will say Facebook's a great tool. Reach out to local pages. Again, August is a great time. I say in this day and age, there's really no reason to buy something as a baby. I think that you can always rehome something, especially if you're looking for more of a common pet. If you're going for more of an exotic animal, reptile expos are a great place to start. And you will always have information on the vendors there, so you can do a little bit of background and a little research to make sure that the animals are taken care of properly and that the vendor is of good nature.
Yeah. Got you. Yeah. Sorry guys, Cheeseburger keeps trying to leave.
You hear
the
something. Sweetest little sound of feet.
little toad feet. That's Cheeseburger trying to leave.
Just walking around. She's got
you bore me.
business.
I might need to bribe her with a snack so she stays still a little longer.
And but of course, like if you're going to adopt a pet, please do your research, reach out to an expert like Samantha or herself directly to make sure you're providing them the right home.
Yeah, I'll always happily answer any questions anybody has, really. I mean, it's the goal, the big long-term goal is way bigger for me than any short-term time spent on talking about it. So I think it's always important to ask around and to make sure that you're doing things ethically. Unfortunately, animals can be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Manipulated and
vulnerable,
exploited. Very much exploited.
They can't tell you that they had a rough time.
Exactly, and that's the problem. However, I will say that they do tell you if they're happy or not in the way that they behave. And when you see animals that are, lashing out, thrashing, trying to run away, freaking out, I mean, that's often a really clear sign that this animal is not trained, not happy, and not okay doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah. Absolutely. I always I used to foster dogs too, and I have two rescue dogs of my own, and I always say if there's something going on with the animal, it's not the animal's fault.
No, exactly. It really comes down to how they're being cared for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, I feel like Cheeseburger's getting a little anxious. So real quick before we go to the tarot reading, how we mentioned before, Zoophoria NJ for your Instagram. How else can people find you? What's your website? How can
Yeah,
they
we've
hire
got
you?
TikTok too. Very
Oh,
fancy on
nice.
there. Have
Mm.
not gone viral yet, but that's okay.
Let's make it happen, people.
It's probably for the best. I don't know. But so we've got TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. As far as upcoming programs go, right now you can usually find us. We're hired privately mostly, except we do a lot of library rounds. So especially in the summer reading program every year does programs specific to a theme. This year's dinosaur theme, so we fit into that super well. You can check your local library and see if we're showing up, and if we're not, you can call them, tell them to call us, and we'll get there for you. Also, you can hire us privately for your events. We do birthday parties for children and adults alike. Adult parties are so fun because I can really geek out and give you guys some cool science information, which is very, very fun. But we are also running a promo right now for Valentine's Day, which is past, I know, but we are still running the promo where you can name a cockroach after your ex, and then I send you a personalized video of me feeding it to something. The best way to feed an animal in the process.
That is an
Spectacular.
excellent way to spend your money. I love that.
Yeah, great use of free will.
We travel all over the state, so we can go to any event really that you have going on. It's just so fun, and we're very relaxed. Try to be fun and again memorable, educational, and give everybody a really fun, positive experience with some of my pets.
Amazing.
And
the work you do is so great.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
will
It's
you
a
be
fun
doing the
job.
Lunar Fair again this year?
We
Is
are,
that-
yes, yep. We're definitely going to make our rounds again. We'll probably stick to more of the closer ones. That would be like Sussex, Bud Lake. There's a bunch, but we are in Long
For our
Valley, which is
witchy
Morris
contingent.
County.
It's a good combo.
Yep.
Yeah, incredible. Okay, so great. We'll link to everything on our website as well and on our Instagram at Witchcast Podcast or witchcastpodcast.com. So you can find Samantha there as well, but make sure, definitely check her out. Zoophoria spelled Zoophria, Zoophoria, like euphoric, but
Exactly. Yep. It's like Euphoria, but
NJ.com.
Zoophoria. And then don't forget the NJ at the end there.
Yes, New Jersey. But you do go anywhere, I think East Coast, you said. Like,
yes.
you travel as well if you guys are not in New Jersey.
All over.
Yeah.
And we do virtual programming too.
Awesome. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, we have listeners from all over the globe, so I'm sure people will be excited to reach out. All right. Cheeseburger's going to pull a tarot card for you. Well, I'm sorry. Well, so the process is you said you pull the cards out and then you put mealworms on them and then whichever one. Explain that again. Yeah.
Yes. So what I do is I pull out 3 cards, same way that we would do traditional tarot pull, whatever pops out first, as the 3 cards that we choose from. And then we put worms on each one. And we give them the opportunity, Cheeseburger here, the opportunity to choose which worm she wants to eat. And that is the tarot of the day.
Amazing.
All right, so fate is definitely on your side. There's definitely a bit of destiny involved here. I'm going to pull up really close for this shot so that you guys can get a nice...
And we'll post this on our Instagram because we
Cheeseburger.
want to watch this happen in real time, too.
All right, and again, I myself am not a reader. Again, I'm learning, but...
We're always learning,
It was a very, very big thing for me here. So we'll pull the card and we'll see what it says. These are like beginner cards, so they have like a little bit of a cheat code on them.
Perfect.
Love it.
I love your
it.
interpretations as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, what I'd love to hear also after is just the name of that deck so that people who are starting to learn can
Yeah,
use that.
absolutely. Yep. Okay.
Or can look
Are we
at it.
ready?
Let's
Yeah.
do
So I've got
it.
my
Right.
worms here. These are called super worms. So they are a variation of mealworms that is a lot larger. They're just a little bit tropical, different species.
Nice.
Here they are.
Super juicy, wiggly looking.
They're very juicy, very tasty, and although it might seem disgusting to eat insects, it is extremely popular in many other cultures. Like I mentioned, my husband was from Uganda. He just recently got these grasshoppers. They're called nsenene, and they're like fried grasshoppers, essentially. He wanted to try. He never had them when he was living there, but he wanted to try them here. So
Did he like them?
I don't know. I didn't try them.
Oh.
He said that they weren't bad. He said they tasted like corn chips, but I'll try it. Maybe
Yeah,
later.
grasshoppers are very like.
I'm never against eating a bug. Okay.
Yeah,
So let's see what
get
we
us the
got here.
future for
Ready?
meat. Yeah.
So we'll drop all 3 and we'll see which one she picks. Oh, dead in the center.
Oh, straight
And that
in
was
the middle.
fast. She was ready.
She was like ready.
Okay. So now I'm going to flip the card horizontally because, of course, they can be read reversed or upright,
Yes.
right? So I'm going to do what's facing you guys, which is upright and Queen of Wands.
Oh, the Queen of Wands.
Very nice.
We love a queen.
A queen for
Perfect.
queen. Look at them shine.
Yeah.
And it says, a good
queen like
nose for
cheeseburgers.
business, attractive, magnetic, mature, enjoys limelight, values home, family life, charismatic, attractive, sensual, queen of the party, impulsive, and the most popular woman is what we're getting here.
I feel like it's just describing
that.
Cheeseburger, really.
Yeah, Cheeseburger chose the one about herself, I see.
It says it's also known as the charisma card, and she is quite
Ooh.
charismatic. So
She is. I cannot take my eyes off her. I'm really sad she didn't get to eat the other 2 mealworms.
Oh, don't worry, we can give her a little pile here to enjoy.
Okay. Yeah, eat up.
Oh, they just pretty much evaporated.
Oh my gosh.
I
just-
special.
Oh my
There we go.
gosh. She's so cool. I want a cane toad.
They are really fun, but they will eat you out of house and home. I have to have
Oh.
like 1,000 worms shipped to me once a week on Amazon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I was also like, yeah, I want a cane toad, and I was like, oh, but the having worms in my tiny apartment all the time would probably be an interesting.
Oh my
And
gosh.
my delivery guy
It's over.
definitely hates me because there's always boxes that say live animal, do not open. I'm like, oh god.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I think that's a great card to pull. I think that description was perfect.
Yeah.
Wands are like the suit of passion and fire and
Creativity.
yes,
Yeah.
your
And
purpose.
this card set is called the Tarotica.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl. I love it.
Oh, can you send us also a photo of that card for the Instagram?
Absolutely.
Well, Cheeseburger, thank you so much for that reading. We really appreciate it.
Very
We
insightful,
will
Cheeseburger.
channel that Queen of Wands / Cheeseburger energy through our
Absolutely.
week.
Let's
Yeah.
carry it this year, guys. We got
Yes,
this.
all year.
Absolutely.
We all could
In
be
your
more like
power.
Cheeseburger.
Yeah. Wait, I feel like, did you answer? I forget. How did you find out Cheeseburger could read tarot?
Oh, well, I just noticed that her extreme desire for all things worm related would cause her to make selections.
Fair enough.
We do it with tarot. I've also done it with like affirmation cards.
Yeah, for sure.
things
Oracle
like
decks.
that.
There's
Yeah,
no
like
reason you
Oracle
couldn't.
cards, all of
Yeah.
that stuff. She does it for everything. Or we did a Super Bowl prediction, although she wasn't correct. So
Oh,
Well, you can't win them all.
yeah, you know,
maybe that was for next year.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
I was
not
gonna
like
say,
the
you
Pats
should-
haven't won.
You should use her for like all major decisions in your life. I feel like
Exactly. She'll be the new Puxatawny Phil.
exactly Groundhog Who.
Nothing but respect for my Groundhog Day.
I don't know, man. I could get behind a cane toad day.
Yeah, for sure.
Cheeseburger day. Well, okay. So thank you so much for joining us. It was fascinating to talk to you and learn from you and meet your familiars. Anything else you wanted to share with our listeners?
No, just keep an open mind about everything, especially animals. But I think it's so important to connect with them, and you'll learn a lot about things that you weren't expecting to. And don't forget to call me if you ever want an animal in your house with you.
Yeah.
Always.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, Samantha. And
Yeah.
Cheeseburger, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. She would say thank you too, but she's got a frog in her throat.
Well, you can follow us again at Witchcast Podcast. You can email us at witchcastpodcast@gmail.com. Did you just say this? I feel like I just blacked out.
I did, but we can do it. You can do it again.
Witchcastpodcast.com. Oh, I know why I did this. And while you're out there on the internet, don't forget that you can always leave us a 5-star review. It helps other people find us, and we really appreciate it.
Yes.
You can leave one wherever fine podcasts are listened to, or, anywhere you happen to be hanging out. Write it on a bathroom stall. Whisper it to the moon.
Tell your own snake or cane toad that you like us. We'll hear it through them.
Yeah. They'll pass the message along. And until next time, Hex yeah!
'Cause it's Witchcast.